Hi guys, it's Daily English Elise. 안녕하세요 여러분, 데일리 문학 델문입니다. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about one of the main themes in An Inspector Calls, responsibility. More specifically, Priestley is talking about social responsibilities through the actions of characters. Now, before I start rambling on, it might be best for you to jot these down into your notes, because I'm going to cover contextual information as well as relating it back to the theme, which would boost up your grades. Oh, hang on a minute. The intro should pop up in about... Yeah, I'll make sure to fix that intro by next time. Anyways, actually moving on to the real thing. Now in the play, there aren't many characters, and there is only one main setting in the entire play. This could mean two things. One being that Priestley wanted to use minimal castings and settings to keep things simple. Indeed, this seems to complement with the fact that the play is constructed of 3 acts, and the acts are continuous with few props being used. Simplicity to Priestley was of great importance. He kept to simplicity because he wanted his play to be understood by a wide range of audience. He once wrote that he wanted to write something that in a pinch could be read aloud in a bar parlour, and the time soon came when I was read and understood in 1,000 bar parlours. In this way, it wouldn't be just a small minority of the audience to relate to the theme of responsibility, but gives the capacity for everyone, regardless of age, gender, class, race, etc., to understand that they all share responsibilities. The other reason is to create a contrast in size and therefore emphasize the importance of responsibility. You ever have that moment when when something seems even smaller when you place something bigger next to it? Yeah, it's kind of the same logic. Priestley deliberately sets the play as a small-scale production to emphasize the violence that runs through the entire 3 acts. If Eva Smith's death creates this much shock to the characters and the audience within this small set scale, imagine if you expand the settings into the society we are living in right now. We could be killing dozens, thousands, no, millions of Eva Smiths, even as I am speaking, and even as you guys are listening to this video, dreading to revise for the exams. Devastating, right? Well, it should have been devastating to the audience back then when it was first performed as well. An Inspector Calls was first performed in 1945 in the Soviet Union, at a time of great change. The play is an example of post-war drama. World War II were fresh in the minds of the people. Women had become more prominent in the workplace, and it was possible to be class mobile. The idea that people can move upwards in class through success, kind of like the phrase climbing the social ladder. Priestley is critical of social responsibility. After World War II, there was an increasing power of capitalism in the Western world. Quality of life was low after the war, and the lower class people were spending so much of their time, health, and energy to work for a society that just did not give a Anyways, it's important to note that the play is set in 1912. This means that the characters have no knowledge of these world events that happened in 1945. Priestley uses this to make important points about society and responsibility. Priestley believed both the rich and poor would benefit from a focus on looking out for one another. And you can see Priestley projecting his views on the importance of responsibility in here, here, and here. Now let's get into the fun part. Analysis. In the first quote, Priestley uses the adjective awkward here to express Mr. Burling's discomfort towards the concept of shared social responsibility. It's really funny how Mr. Burling likes to speak in first person when talking about things that he's proud of or confident about. For example, the quotes here and here. Yeah, but when it comes to talking about taking responsibility, he speaks in third person most of the times, like if we were all responsible. This, in a literal sense, is a portrayal of Mr. Burling as a character who follows capitalist views. To take private ownership of assets and business, and take little to no responsibility of other people's well-being. So when it comes to talking about good things about him, he will speak in first person. And when it comes to talking about sharing responsibility, well, he really just doesn't want to take any responsibility by himself at all. Moving on to the next quote. Sheila cannot seem to forget about Eva Smith's incident. The physical break within her speech through the use of hyphens show how troubled her mind is, enough to take pauses while speaking. Can you see the hyphens there? Yeah. The split of each speech between Eva Smith's horrible death contrasts with Sheila's happy evening, which portrays a different lifestyle the two characters lead because of their different class. And last but not least, the last quote. Priestley uses the inspector as a device to show Priestley's interests in personal responsibility and collective responsibility to society. The quote, there are millions and millions and millions of Eva Smiths and John Smiths still left with us. In here, Eva Smith is a symbolic character who can be either a she or a he, and represents the result of a corrupt society. This play is a precautionary play. Let me spell that out for you. Precautionary. And this means a play that gives a warning or a message to the audience to take care of one another through a shared responsibility. For examples, elites taking responsibility for the common good through the theme of social class, or for elite men to become responsible for the sexism they show throughout the play through the theme of sexism and gender differences. Priestley changes the writing from past tense of has gone into present tense, their suffering, ing, to show that although it may be too late to recover the mistakes from the past, there is still hope for the current society and the future. What's interesting is that there is a sense of timelessness to this play. I mean, let's take a look at this play in today's context. The current coronavirus, also known as the COVID-19, is an alarming issue that is being raised throughout the whole world. I mean, with all the fuss about who started it, whose fault is it? It's only causing unnecessary issues of racism and violence, which does not improve the situation of the virus at all. From studying and examining the play, I think that it is fair to say that we are all to blame, and that if there's nothing else, we'll have to share our guilt. It is more important to work as a community to stop the spread of the virus, instead of getting heaped up about whose responsibility it is. That's what I think, anyways. But what's also very important is that you guys would consider pressing the subscribe and like button. Okay, thanks for listening to my rambling, guys, and I hope to see you again. Bye.